It's spring here in Michigan, and that means change. A lot of our plants and animals are sprouting, waking up, or returning from a long winter spent elsewhere. If you're taking a walk outside and you keep a savvy eye pointed towards the ground, one animal you might see this time of year is this guy. This is an American toad, and it's one of our most commonly seen Michigan amphibians. My name is Marley, and I'm an interpreter for the Huron-Clinton Metroparks here at the Oakwoods Metropark Nature Center. The Metroparks are entering into an exciting new partnership with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. Every month, we'll be bringing you a new video about the plants and animals of Southeast Michigan. So, whether you're visiting the Ralph C. Wilson Centennial Park or taking a walk in your own backyard, you might come across one of these amazing species. So come along with me as we discover more about the American toad and its special place in Michigan ecosystem. I'm standing out by our pond here at Oakwoods, and it's a common spot for all kinds of amphibians, including our American toad. Now, what exactly is an amphibian? Well, it's a cold-blooded animal that usually goes through metamorphosis at some point in its life cycle. Now, metamorphosis is a big word, but for our frogs and toads, it means that they go from animals that breathe in the water to ones that breathe air. First, our toad mother lays her eggs in or around a body of water like our pond. Now, if you've never seen a toad egg before, it kind of looks like a beaded necklace that's held together by snot. Next, these eggs hatch, and our toads spend some time as tadpoles that breathe through gills on the side of their neck and eat vegetation that they find in the water. Finally, these tadpoles grow legs, and they lose their tail by reabsorbing it back into their body. Once the toads are fully grown, they usually spend most of their life on dry land, which is one of the big things that distinguishes them from frogs. Another thing that distinguishes toads from frogs is their warty skin. The American toad is covered in speckled bumps all across its backside that help camouflage it. This toad lives in all sorts of environments, like gardens, fields, forests, or even more developed habitats like roadsides. They look for cover under rocks, logs, and leaves, and their brown skin helps them blend in with their environment. Now, the American toad can actually change its skin color in response to environmental cues, like temperature or stress. So while our American toad at the Nature Center is kind of a tannish color, you might spot other toads that look more red or grayish. And see these big bumps on the back of its head? These are the parotid glands. Many species of toads have parotid glands, and they secrete a milky toxin that helps protect the American toad from its predators. Now, this toxin tastes pretty gross to animals, but it can also be kind of dangerous. Don't let your dog or cat eat one. Now, when it comes to dinner time, these toads aren't picky eaters. There are all sorts of animals on the menu, like worms, beetles, ants, moths, snails, slugs, and all sorts of other invertebrates. Now, when humans eat, the muscles of our esophagus squeeze in sequence to push food down our throat as we swallow. But frogs and toads don't have the same swallowing mechanism. Instead, when an American toad catches its prey, it swallows the animal whole, and then it shoves its eyeballs back into its eye socket and uses them to push the food towards its stomach. And do you want to know one of the American toad's craziest eating habits? These animals actually eat their own skin. Just like snakes, the American toad sheds its skin every couple of weeks as it's growing. As it does this, it pulls the shed into its mouth and swallows it so it can get all of the extra nutrients found in the skin and keep them from going to waste. Yum! Now that spring is here and the weather's getting warmer, there's one big sign of the American toad you might notice. Have you ever heard this sound before? That's the call of the male toad as he signals the female for mating season. This high-pitched chorus can be heard throughout backyards and parks all across Michigan this time of year. But there are other, more subtle signs of the toad's presence as well. The American toad's insect-loaded diet helps control pest species that annoy us humans by making us itchy or destroying our gardens. They provide an important food source for some of your other favorite Michigan animals, like garter snakes or raccoons. And a lot of amphibians are actually important environmental indicator species. This means that they're really sensitive to chemical pollution or habitat destruction, and we can study them to figure out if our actions are harming the environment before bigger changes occurred. So the next time you're visiting one of your Michigan parks and you see an American toad hopping along a river or hiding under a log, don't underestimate it. These small creatures have a big impact on the health and functioning of our environment.